and welcome to the Outcast from London Magpie Group and AshleyOut.com, the podcast that aims to talk about the wider points surrounding football and politics at Newcastle United. This podcast arrives at quite a unique time for Newcastle fans, in which we're following a transfer window in which a player was actually signed and bought for a market rate fee. We decided to go to the Spurs game to ask fellow fans what they thought about the transfer window, fan pressure, protests and the role of Rafa Benitez. Hello everybody and welcome to the first ever episode of the Outcast live-ish from Wembley Stadium for Newcastle versus Spurs. I'm here with Newcastle fans and we're asking key questions following the transfer window. So I'm here with a fan who's joined us today. How you doing, all right?
Yeah, good.
So I'm just going to get going and start. First question, the killer question, is the transfer window that's just gone by, is it good enough?
Well, it's a start. It's a beginning, but we've got a long way to go. The trouble is, we support a club that's being run as a marketing organisation, not as a football club, would be where I'm coming from.
Okay, so you think that's the fundamental problem, that there's no sporting ambition beyond that?
No, it's very limited, and I think Ashley was pushed by Rafa to do what he's done, and he's borrowed money from Barclays to do it.
Well, would you not argue that this is a statement of ambition, having broken the transfer record, supposedly?
The transfer record was set a long time ago, and I don't think we should have comparisons anyway with Michael Owen. I don't think that's a very healthy comparison. It's you know, they look good. The people who've come in over the last few days, they look very good. Want to see them, but we're still a long way to go. We need more money spent, and without Rafa pushing very cleverly from the sidelines for this, we wouldn't have got what we've got.
That leads me to my next question, I guess, is how, if a lesser manager, a less politically engaged manager was involved, as in the past, do you think we would have been in a position now?
Rafa is the most incredible leader. I mean, I'm a leadership coach. That's what I do. That's my job. And what Rafa has and what he exudes in vast quantities is incredible emotional intelligence, and he knows exactly how to go about his negotiations with Ashley, and very few people would have put up with it or been able to manage it in such a politically clever, astute, emotionally intelligent way as Rafa has done. And you know, he's a genius in that department, and we're incredibly lucky to still have him, and I just hope we can hold on to him.
Yeah, because it's about the long term, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I just hope and pray that, you know, that he is going to stay, because with the right ownership of the club, we would fly. We would absolutely fly with the support we've got, with a brilliant manager that we have, and his inspirational signings that he's made when he's had the limited funds available to do so.
So you mentioned the support there. You've obviously got the manager and you've got the ownership.
Yeah. Support
in the middle a lot of the time, caught in the crossfire of this. What is their role though? Obviously, to support the team is the popular motto, but what is our role? I mean, you will have seen on Tuesday night just gone, we had a fantastic victory against
unbelievable
Man City.
I believe that actually when the match is on, we need to be 100% behind the team. What goes on outside the stadium, before the match, after the match, that's the time for protesting. But during the game, we've got to get 100% behind the team. We're amazing when we get behind the team. And we've been battered to oblivion and beyond because of the abuse we've suffered over 11 years with Ashley. So different people react in different ways to that. Some of our fans have given up their season tickets after many years. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But with pressure on incomes, you know, it's a very tough ride as a Newcastle supporter. I often think, you know, it would be very easy to be a Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal supporter, but it takes a tough character to be a Newcastle supporter. The person who gets it right in owning our club and investing in our club, with a brilliant manager like Rafa, we will fly. We will absolutely fly. And one day, as Keegan said, we will get our club back. And I just hope and pray that's going to come as soon as possible.
So one last question. As fans, because we're here as the London Magpie group, we're here as a pressure group, a fan group, we're talking to supporters, we're engaging with supporters. What's the next steps for us? What should we be doing? If we're not going to try and combine football and politics together, is that even possible? What do you think the next steps are?
I think we have to keep irritating Ashley, making sure he's aware of how unhappy we are with the way he's running our club, the lack of funds, the lack of support to Rafa. We just have to keep the pressure on. Obviously, we've had good news this week, but one swallow doesn't make a summer. We've got to keep the pressure on, and that's what I will be doing for sure.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. Enjoy the game.
January the 1st, we had a very small squad. All January went through, he signed 2 players. And what's he gone and done? He's let 6 go out on loan. So we're just as smaller squad now as what we were. Actually, he's never spent anything. It's the money, it's all the bank's money, not his money.
So that goes back to our main question. Is it good enough? That's the key question we're asking today.
Nope. As far as I'm concerned, he's still got to go. That's it. Got no time for the man.
And how much of that do you think the progress is down to, if at all, is down to having a manager that pushes for things politically?
You can't blame it on Rafa. No way. I'll put it another way. Put Rafa in charge of all these top 6 clubs. All them top 6 clubs will be exactly the same position as what Newcastle are. He would not spend money. He doesn't want to spend money. He's not interested. He gets me angry, this man. He gets me really knocked.
So we're adamant that he's got to go.
Oh.
What's the next steps in terms of that?
What?
Because the takeover seemed to be...
Oh, it's not going to happen. We all know that. He's just a liar. And he's telling us at the beginning of the season, January, it's up for sale. And I said to the lads, I says, February the 1st, it will not be up for sale. He'll not be bothered with it.
Okay, one last question.
Yeah.
Were you at the home game for City?
Which one, Man City?
It's a Man City home game, yeah. Great result, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, were you aware of, there was a lot of social media activity and a lot of mixed messages going around. Were you aware of what was happening after, in terms of the activity at the ground?
There was going to be a sit-in. I knew there was. Bruh, I just wanted a pint.
Yeah.
So, the pint's more interested in Mike Ashley. He wasn't even at the match, so...
Yeah.
So that goes to showing me he's not interested in the club.
Mm-hmm.
So why should we be interested in Mike Ashley?
So do you think we should try and divide if at all we're going to try and do things, be active? Do you think we better to keep the football side of it out of it, or have we got to mix the politics together?
That's a good question, that one, right? Politics. I think you've got to put them both together. You can't have one without the other. And I'll finish it off. Mike Ashley is the cancer of the club. And cancer can kill you eventually. That's the way I look at it. Mike Ashley is the cancer. Right.
Enjoy the game.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Fan here who's travelled from Ireland, I believe.
Yeah.
Or Irish originally.
Coming all the way from Ireland to see Newcastle today.
Superb. One question we've got is about the transfer deadline and the transfer window that we're asking, and the big question is are things good enough? Is it good enough?
It's good enough for the short term, but it doesn't take into account what's happened the last 10-11 years. We're going to see the next transfer window in the summer. He's going to continue. Personally, knowing all the fans, he's not going to do that. So look, he's doing good at the moment, but long term we still want them out.
So it's a sustainability issue long term, do you think?
It's sustainability. I can't see him investing. Hopefully more the same of what he's done just January transfer window, but it's very hard to see.
Because we've got some good players. My understanding is we've got one loan and we've got one signing that's
true. We've one new loan player, and same with Rondon. I guess another question is, are we going to sign him permanently come the summer? With Rondon being 29, 30, it's very hard to see actually shelling out that money, but I guess time will see.
Okay. Great. And so how much do you think this is down to the manager, the role of the manager, and how he's very politically engaged?
Yeah.
Traditionally, isn't he? So how much of it do you think this pressure is down to him?
Yeah, it's all down to Rafa. If Rafa didn't have 6 months left in his contract, there's no way we would have signed Almiron. So we'll see if Rafa signs that new contract. I think Rafa knows what Ashley's about, and again, if Rafa doesn't stay, I guess we just know we can't trust Mike Ashley.
Okay, and finally, if fans are going to have an input on this process, we're part of this today. We're talking to fans like yourself. How much do you think of an influence do you think fans have? Were you aware of the sort of protests that have been going on?
Oh yeah, in Ireland we know of all the protests going on, but it's very easy to see that the fans are too passionate not to attend games, so I don't think that will work. I think, well, my suggestion would be with the TV coverage of games, definitely the stand-in protest after a game would be good, just to get the national coverage out there, especially on Sky Sports or BT.
So it's about media exposure.
Yeah, and make him, like, if you're still showing and you're getting the money, I don't think he really cares.
The Outcast will be back after these short messages. Tired of your usual type of fishing? Tired of constantly losing arguments on social media? Then try using Rio's fishing tackle and gear from Rio Ferdinand. Hi, I'm a flat earther, and recently I got myself in a spot of bother online when I argued with the vast majority of the scientific community. Well, thanks to Rio Ferdinand and his patented fishing emojis, I managed to pass off those views as if they weren't my own, and those eggheads can stick that round earth where the sun don't shine. Do not use in place of valid argument. Excessive use may result in social media backlash. Hello, I'm here again for the Outcast, recording outside Wembley with some Newcastle fans who have joined us for the day today as well and are willing to comment on the recent transfer window activity. So, ladies, one question to start with. Is it good enough? Is what happened this week good enough for Newcastle?
No, it's a start, but there's more that can be done, and it's too little, too late.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
And always on the last day of the transfer window as well, which again is not helpful because doesn't give time to bed players in, and obviously we're in a relegation battle, and I think we should have had these players signed and sealed by the the opening of the transfer window.
There's points to be won in between as well, right?
Equally, and of course it seems as if we borrowed money from Barclays to fund this £20 million move, which to me is not using the every penny generated that we're told can be used to fund these transfers.
Yeah, because the common theme is that money's being put in by the owner. Is that doesn't ring true when loans are being taken out and things like that? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's totally fair, and the problem is, where is all the money going, and all the lines are so blurred between the various different companies. I mean, I think it's very hard, but I think we need to try and expose some of that,
because it actually has so many fingers in so many pies, as we probably all know.
Yeah, with various companies and of course Sports Direct being arguably what is the main motivator for him being at the club. So we talked about the owner a little bit in the transfer window, but with the manager in particular, with Rafa, do you think with a less politically, or what do you think the role of the Rafa has been in this? Do you think that he's been the key difference or the pressure point?
I mean, I think we'd be lost without him. We'd be relegated for sure, and I think the players that we do get probably only come for him because he is such a great leader and he does amazing things with nothing really.
Yeah, well, he seems to squeeze an extra, I don't know, 50% out of players over and above, I think, what anyone else would get.
Yeah, so do you think he's been the difference in this Almiron transfer? Do you think he's been a pivotal factor in that, or would we have spent this money anyway?
I'm sure Rafa put the pressure on, and I think Ashley probably knows that if Rafa went, then we really would be in a very, very bad place, and he couldn't afford to lose him. And I don't know, maybe Rafa said if he didn't get something, then he'd have to walk, because I don't know. I'm very grateful that Rafa does put up with it, but I don't know why he does, because I wouldn't.
I wouldn't know why he puts up with it either. He doesn't have to. But I do think he's got an affinity with the fans in the same way that he had at Liverpool, and I believe he put pressure there on what was above.
So there's precedent for it,
Yeah.
I suppose that remains to be seen, doesn't it? Long term, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question. We're all here as fans. We've talked about the ownership. We've talked about the management. There were protests. You might have been aware of that or not aware of that, depending on how which mediums you get your news from. Two apparently on Tuesday. How aware of them were you, and also what is the role of fans and what can we do going forward, do you think?
I mean, I was aware of the protest after the Man City match, but of course with the fabulous victory, I think it dulled the effect, and I was there at the end in the ground, and there weren't very many people. That's always the problem, isn't it? I mean, I often think that something in advance of a game would be a better way to protest.
Similar to the Northumberland Street.
Well, similar. I mean, there was I understand that Bolton had a protest with tennis balls onto the pitch. And that was quite effective because that meant that Sky or BT or whoever was filming at the time would have to ask the question, why is there a protest? And then it would be explained, and then hopefully people around the world, if it was Sky, would pick up on what actually was happening with Mike Ashley. I mean, I'd heard there might have been a pink pig protest with soft pigs being thrown. I'm not advocating anything, any violent protest, but something simple and not harmful that might draw attention to it in advance of a TV game.
Simple, not harmful, clear to understand.
Yeah.
But how you get it out to people, because I don't think that was very well.
No, I agree, and I think as much as we can do things at football matches, also, outside his stores, handing out leaflets, educating people on what he's doing, not only to the football club but to the British High Street as well. It affects more than just Newcastle fans, what he's doing.
It's difficult, isn't it, when geography is a bit of a dictator, so that's why I suppose we have to look more nationally, perhaps, or look.
I don't know. Or do you target the companies, the boxers that in St James's Park,
right?
Who obviously they spend a lot of money, and without the income from the boxers, I mean, I think the club, wouldn't be in a good place. So whether it's important to find out who those people are who own the boxers and then target individually those companies, I mean, that would probably be quite an undertaking, but
that's an interesting perspective, though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a new one I've heard, so that's good. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Enjoy the game. Is the recent transfer window, January 2019 transfer window, is it good enough?
No, I don't think it is good enough. It appears at the outset that Ashley's put money in, but at the end of the day, he's got a loan for it, so a lot of the public don't realise that. They think it's his money going in. It hasn't really been publicised, the fact that it is a bank loan that he's getting.
So the media perception is often that he's put his hand in his pocket tends to be the line that gets plotted out.
It has been on this occasion. I think he's. I think Rafa's forced his hand to a degree. He was making waves that he'd be gone earlier last week, and within 2 days we're suddenly buying a £20 million number 10, which is that papering over the cracks. We're open to. Well, the truth will be over the next 2 windows when he probably doesn't spend anything again. But I would like to think that there might be still takeover happening in the background that we don't know about, and they've been forcing Ashley's hand to make sure Benitez stops there. I don't know, it's probably just wishful thinking maybe, but you never know. There might be still something mumbling away in the background that we're being forced to buy this, or he's been forced to buy this player, which is very un-Ashley like them to lash out 20 million quid on a player, but it hasn't happened in his 11 years at all. But you know, it's positive. At the end of the transfer window has been positive. It's just whether or not it's good enough, and whether it's the next 3 transfer windows funds spent in one go. We'll soon find out.
So it's a sustainability issue.
Yeah. Will he spend another 10 million in the next window, or another 20 on a player? I don't think he will.
He's done this as a last resort to appease Rafa because he knows his contract's up in the summer.
Well, ultimately, if Rafa left, if you didn't kind of buy anyone in the transfer window, Rafa left, would probably more than likely get relegated, and the chances of coming back up would just not happen.
It's a sinking ship.
Yeah.
It's a sinking ship.
Do you think there would have been if there was somebody less politically engaged as Rafa Benitez, that the same result would have happened?
No, I think Rafa's played him a blinder this week and forcing his hand. He knows what he means to the fans. He knows what he means to the club. What he means if the club went down, and what influence he has on that happening. And he's played him like a fiddle. It's kind of all the games that Ashley's played all this time have kind of he's been trumped at the death of a transfer window. That's my opinion anyway.
And you particularly alluded to the fans' input in this process.
Yeah.
There was 2 protests planned at the home game the other night.
Yeah.
We've talked a little bit about some of the stuff that we've done.
Yeah.
But how difficult do you think it is in terms of getting things to work, and can things work in terms?
It's hard if we're in and around the mid-table when protests have a direct kind of reflection on the first team and the atmosphere of games, and it could be a negative influence on that. I don't know whether it's when you're in a relegation fight, that's a bit too much to lay on the players. I don't know, but that's just my opinion on it, whether or not it should happen at games, or whether it should happen when probably now when the feeling's a bit better. We've got 3 points, hopefully we'll get something today, and we'll be the threat of relegation is not as great. We've got a few winnable games coming up. Whether or not it'll still happen now, what he's done in the transfer window, I don't know.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on that?
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Okay. So I get the impression it's about the politics and the football, the mix of the two.
It is.
It's the belief they should be separate, or
it's directly related to the club, isn't it? It cannot be separate. It's just to getting the timing right of doing the thing last season, of having the displays in the ground at the Gallagher End, and the message that was sending was positive and negative at the same time. Negative to the regime, but positive to the players that came out and could see what it meant to the fans. But I don't know, chucking tennis balls on the pitch, or not putting bums on seats until the 12th minute or whatever, whether that's going to have it'll affect the players negatively, is what I'm trying to say. I think.
Yeah.
It's bound to affect the players.
Yeah.
What's going on behind the scenes?
Do you think the players know what it's about, though? Do you think they understand? Because when you think the players at the start of the season had their own protest, didn't they? And they refused to sign the contracts and stuff because they refused to take the photos, didn't they? So because Ashley refused to clear them. Yeah. So do you think somewhere within the team, obviously that was driven by Lascelles and stuff, you know? So obviously they had to protest against Ashley.
Yeah.
You know, do you think maybe they're trying to tell we as fans, look at we're leading the way, the only way to get results with Ashley is to actually put your foot down?
So that brings us to the end of our debut Outcast podcast from London Magpie Group and AskTheOut.com. I've been Jay, also known as the Devil's Advocate, and it's my job to talk to you and the rest of the group about the issues surrounding Newcastle United, the team, and protest movements and fan action going forward. We've been really grateful for the insight and input of fellow fans during our trip to Wembley, so all who contributed here today, I'd like to thank them for their time and their effort and their opinions. It really means a lot to us in our efforts going forward as London Magpie Group, as AshleyOut.com, to help take the club forward and help inform better opinion surrounding Newcastle United. In upcoming podcasts, we'd like to reflect on what happened at all the games so far this year that we've attended, especially Spurs, in the next few weeks, and I'll invite other members of the group for their input to reflect on some of the things that have been talked about and debated today. We've got some really interesting ideas and we hope you'll join us for them in future. If you want to get in touch with the podcast and London Magpie Group in general, you can get in touch with us via londonmagpiegroup.co.uk or at London Magpies on Twitter or at London Magpie Group on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, which is a good way of finding out some of the stuff that we've done before. So we're London Magpie Group on YouTube, and if you want to contact us via there, you can contact us at londonmagpietube@gmail.com. Information will be in the supplementary notes to this podcast. So until next time, when I'm joined with other members of the group with lots to talk about, from me, it's over and Ashley out. Bye for now.